Oh, yeah, yesterday it was freezing in there.
Mine,
Yeah.
well, it was warmer than the last meeting,
Was it?
but my nose was still frozen by the end. It's like you walk outside, it's barely warmer.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
That's how you tell.
Yeah.
And you're from Wisconsin, so you're used to cold.
That doesn't mean I like it.
No,
There's a difference, right? There is a big difference between being used to it and liking it. Yes.
Yeah, it was just, if my nose is cold inside the building, that's a problem.
Hi.
Hi.
Are we?
Good. Do you walk here or do you drive here?
Just now.
Yeah.
I drove.
Okay, because you always get here like right, like you time it. I mean, this is how you live your life, I know. Like, right. You got a 15-second span.
Hi. Good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock, time for our regularly scheduled business meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. Next up, we have Commissioner Cessna, who's going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day that you have given us, and thank you for the recent moisture that you have provided to help nourish our ground. Be with all of our citizens in the community who are going through the pain of loss and illness during this time of the year, and especially be with our first responders and watch over them during this time of the year as well. We come to you today and ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting to help us make decisions to move our community forward in a positive direction. In this we pray, amen.
Amen. Next up is approval of the minutes. Did anybody see any changes or corrections that needed to be made? Okay, the minutes stand approved. Next up, we have public comment. This is a time for anybody to come up and speak about anything that is not on the agenda. You will have 5 minutes, and when you do come up, please state your name.
Hello, I'm Jeff Christ. I'm here just to inform the board. I think you've seen I filled out an application to serve on the planning committee. Having said all of that, I thought, what am I going to say today? You know, we have deep roots in the community. We've been here a long time. I operate a small business. I have a family farm, 4th generation. I actually, probably, to give you an idea how long we've been part of the community, is I can remember when Matt used to dunk the ball with 2 hands.
Been a long time.
But having said that, I've had experience in these areas. I served on the USD 457 Board of Education for 12 years. Probably the most significant thing we did there was the new high school. Served on the college board for 8 years. I served on the airport advisory board when we petitioned this very commission to, not you members, but to put controlled airspace in, knowing that there was only going to be one in Southwest Kansas. So I would appreciate your consideration. I have the time to devote to this. I think I have the expertise to devote to this. And again, we have roots in the community. Anything that, you know, a rising tide raises all ships. So we're part of this community, and we'd like to be a part of those ships that are raised. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No public comment.
Item 6A, Mayor and Commissioners, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a request from Alan Bowles with All Tex Guns Show to waive the sign ordinance and right-of-way restrictions and to have signs placed at 8 privately owned businesses from January 8th through the 15th of 2024. Their event is scheduled for January 13th and 14th, 2024. Is there a staff person that speaks to this? There's a memo in your packet regarding the 8 sites that they wish to have a sign.
Any comments, questions?
I'll make the motion to approve the request of right-of-way restrictions and have sign placed at the following privately owned businesses from January 8th through the 15th of 24.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7A, Assistant City Manager Burke will provide a end-of-year update on the status of Neighborhood and Development Services Agreement.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. City and county staff have been meeting pretty regularly to discuss neighborhood and development services, really starting in June of 2022. Beginning in November of 2022, those discussions started to pick up more regularly and more narrowly focus on process improvements and changes to the existing neighborhood and development services interlocal agreement that was last updated in 2015. A full list of the timelines of those meetings is included in your packet for informational purposes. The most recent meeting, you'll recall, was at a pre-meeting on August 15th of this year, and we provided an update at that time. At that point in the process, the county had requested some additional information related to our development process and how that occurs within the city. And so we provided them a memo related to kind of outlining that process in September of this year. I will modify the agenda briefly. About an hour ago we were able to schedule our meeting for late January, so we'll continue those conversations at that point. This memo is really being provided to serve as a year-end recap on this particular project so that the City Commission has the most updated information going into the City Commission retreat and the 2025 budget. During these meetings, the Commission will be asked to give some additional direction related to this item. And generally speaking, there are kind of three different paths we can go down. One is to continue the negotiations as they have been happening. One is to present the already drafted and modified agreement to you all for consideration, and that's that consultant type relationship that we talked about at the August 15th meeting. And that was at one point kind of the direction that was mutually agreed upon by both parties. And the third, obviously, would be to provide notice of termination. That does have to be done if the commission was interested in that path by July 1st of 2024 to be in compliance with that agreement. So today we're not asking for any specific direction. We really just wanted to provide you all with kind of a year-end update as we go into those upcoming items. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Otherwise, that is kind of the update in short.
No, I appreciate it. I think that you've really set the bar high as far as how we're going to negotiate with one another in the future. And so I really appreciate your attention to detail, and the follow-up has been tremendous. So thank you for that. And I know that they appreciate it too. I know they've commented that you've really met and exceeded every request. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
The remaining items under the report of the city manager are staff updates in print form. I would like to add an update coming out of yesterday's Finney County Commissioners meeting. The Board of County Commissioners created a committee. Not exactly sure what the scope of the committee is. As best I could tell from the discussion, really the intent of it is to maybe improve communications on matters concerning the Law Enforcement Center, which we are a tenant of. It's a county building, but we're a tenant of for our police department, along with the Sheriff's Department and the operation of the Finney County Jail. I think as tenants, the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department have maybe not felt a lot of information flow coming to them about where that project stood over the last year. About this time last year, you might remember matters came to a head and on the condition, and I think the county elected to move forward with starting a project, and I think to date have maybe identified an architect, but all in all, that's about the extent of the progress from what we know. But again, the information's been pretty limited. This committee would be chaired by Chairman Drees, include county administrator, the assistant county administrator, a representative from the sheriff's office, a representative from the police department, and a representative from city administration. I believe at this point in time, unless there's a desire by the commission otherwise, I'd go ahead and fulfill the city manager's representative. And the police department, Chief Pruitt's indicated that Captain Oaks would fulfill that responsibility. So EJ and I would report to that committee. I do anticipate that from time to time we may bring other staff people into that conversation based on their areas of expertise and their connection to whatever we may be discussing. But I'll for sure keep the governing body informed. I know you're interested on the state of things over there, and if probably at some point in time come into contact with this material, which has also circulated. This is kind of the, I think in picture form, conditions at the LEC. This is maybe the last year's work orders, and then this, definitely evidence of leaks, which is certainly understandable in an aged building with mechanical systems failures. But I think the concern may be, bottled up in the prevalence of this and the lack of response to address conditions. Those leaks are certainly having a consequence in and while some of it's probably from the HVAC system, not all of it's from the HVAC system. It's pretty evident that maybe sewer drainage too, and it's this is down the hall from investigations on the route to the squad room. Not uncommon for folks to prep at the end of the working day to defend against leaking from the roof. So certainly not a desirable work environment, certainly not an effective work environment given what our department works on. So I think my hope is what gets addressed in this committee is that we would certainly be informed of the timeline so that we can visit with our 100+ people that work in that building that are part of the city of Garden City, get them informed of what the timeline is and what the end goal is of the county's efforts on that building, but then also maybe to strike up a conversation about what can we do in the interim. Is there a understanding that a major revitalization project or construction project might take some time? What's a reasonable partnership that might be able to be formed around a temporary situation? So we'll see. I'll certainly keep the governing body informed, but wanted you to make you aware of the Finney County Board of Commissioners setting up that committee and them reserving a couple of spots for city folks on there.
I do have just a question. I want to make sure and clarify and just be real clear. As far as being a tenant, so are all of the repairs handled by the county, or have we done any repairs ourselves as far as the city using that part of the building?
It's their building, and
So
our responsibility is to make them aware of it. I think several years ago, the emphasis was on using their work order system to submit maintenance requests, and we've done that probably, I think, between the police department and the sheriff's department since 2018. 2,200 work orders have been submitted on maintenance issues like the ones shown.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. The final item under the manager's report is the Cox Communications alert as to changes regarding their services that are covered under the franchise agreement with the city. Meetings of note, if there's items on there that require RSVPs, please let Seelan or Corey know. And that brings us to 9A. It's the appropriation ordinance, and if approved, it would be number 2593-2023A.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve appropriation ordinance 2593-2023A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10A, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a resolution declaring the boundary of the city of Garden City as of January 1st, 2024. And if approved, this would be resolution number 3086-2024.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. The background to this is the Kansas City statute, KSA 12-517, requires when a city has either annexed or excluded territory from the city limits, the governing body by resolution must declare the entire boundary of the city. The city must adopt this resolution by December 31st, 2023. This action has come before the governing body due to the annexation of a property known as former Harmon property on Old Post Road. Attached is a map showing the general location of that property. Alternatives before you today, the governing body may approve the attached resolution. Number 2, the governing body may not approve the attached resolution. Staff's recommendation is to approve the attached resolution.
I make a motion we approve Resolution 3086-2024.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask that we jump forward to 12B. The reason for that being is we can't take up 10B until there's a decision made on 12B. So 12B is, I'm going to find it on my roster here. 12B, the governing body is asked to consider and approve staff entering into a 5-year lease purchase agreement with Lease Servicing Center, Inc. through Master Tech Truck and Equipment, LLC, to lease one 2024 Kenworth single-axle dump truck and one 2024 Kenworth tandem-axle dump truck with plows and salt sand spreaders for $129,317.70 per year. Tyler.
Jared.
Jared.
Are you on the resolution?
I'm not.
No, we're at the, so actually Tyler, and he's coming.
We're skipping around,
Yeah,
keeping you guys on
we-
your toes.
Yeah, we know you're listening.
Now Tyler.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners.
Hi, Tyler.
The governing body is asked to consider and approve the 5-year lease to purchase agreement with Lease Servicing Center Incorporated through Master Tech Truck and Equipment, LLC, to lease one of the 2024 Kenworth single-axle dump trucks and one 2024 tandem-axle dump truck. Both of these have the plow and salt sand spreaders for a total of $129,317.70. The governing body previously authorized $325,000 in fiscal year budget 2024 for new equipment to be purchased in the street department. A portion of this funding was to purchase 2 dump trucks complete with this plows and sand equipment. The projected delivery of this equipment is not until sometime in 2025. And the street department has 8 dump trucks set up with the plowing and sanding equipment. 2 of these units are planned to be replaced, and the purchase of those would not come until sometime after 2025. So we currently are looking to replace Unit 65, which is a 2006 Sterling truck, and Unit 67, which is a 2005 Sterling. With the long lead times and delivery of the equipment, we are asking for authorization to enter into a 5-year lease to purchase agreement for 2 dump trucks complete with the plow and sander equipment that can be delivered within 30 days. One of the trucks is a single axle, similar to the equipment, the dump trucks that we currently have, and the other is a tandem axle unit that will have the capabilities of hauling more material, more weight. Attached, there's also the bid tab we have, or the tab for the costs. The Master Tech Truck and Equipment, they're out of Wichita. They do have these trucks in stock. They were the lowest in cost with availability on equipment and everything as well. Alternative 1, the governing body may approve the lease purchase agreement with Lease Servicing Center Incorporated for 2 dump trucks with the plow and salt sand spreaders for $129,317.70. Or 2, the governing body may not approve the lease purchase agreement. Staff recommends the governing body approve the lease purchase agreement with Lease Servicing Center Incorporated for the dump trucks with plow and salt sand spreaders for the $129,317.70. Funding for these lease payments will come from the 2024 new street and new equipment vehicle budget that was approved by the governing body with the $325,000 for equipment replacement. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Well, so as far as the lease, so all the leasing dollars that we're spending will actually go toward the purchase at the end, or is there a cost of use?
Correct. Nope, after the 5 years, we would own the equipment.
Nice. Yep. I move that the governing body approve the lease purchase agreement with Lease Servicing Center Incorporated for 2 dump trucks with plows and sand salt spreaders for $129,317.70.
I'll second. Nope. Go ahead.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Now, item 10B is the resolution that's required for said lease. So, Jared?
Now that you've approved that purchase, in conjunction with that, we have to do this resolution for the lease purchase for the 2 2024 dump trucks from Master Tech Truck and Equipment. The bid for these dump trucks was provided through Sourcewell, a cooperative purchasing provider. As a component of the Sourcewell bid, it's required that the financing for the lease purchase of the 2 dump trucks be provided through NCL Government Capital, as they have been selected through Sourcewell's competitive bid process as the lessor for such purchases. Normally, we come before you with, we went out and bid the financing of this, but because of the way that Sourcewell works, it's kind of a package deal. So the alternatives before the governing body today are to approve the resolution for lease purchase financing options from NCL Government Capital, or we could choose to pay from the cash balance and amend our 2024 budget and not go with the lease purchase option and pay it outright. Staff recommends the governing body approve the resolution for a lease purchase financing option with NCL Government Capital. And as a fiscal note, this purchase will be funded, as Tyler said, from the Special Traffic Way new equipment line starting in 2024.
Jared, so with the 2 trucks that we had, those were those free and clear? Do we depreciate those out once we get rid of those?
Yeah, yep. Those are old enough that they've been depreciated down. We've held on them for quite some time.
Okay.
I don't think I gave you a number, but 3087-2023 would be the resolution if approved.
Any other questions?
Mayor, I make a motion we approve Resolution 3087-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Item C, D, and E are nuisance abatements. We'll read through the first one, which is a motor vehicle nuisance. The second one's also a motor vehicle nuisance, and the third one's a tree nuisance. The process and notifications are similar. So if there's somebody here that wants to speak to one of these issues, certainly would encourage them to kind of, raise their hand or make eye contact with you. Otherwise, we'll read through the body of the first one. The subsequent ones, we'll just read the address and the violation. So item number C, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a motor vehicle nuisance resolution. If approved, it would be Resolution 3088-2023 and abate a motor vehicle nuisance at 1011 North 3rd. Trent?
Yeah, so this is for a blue vehicle on the property of 1011 North 3rd. It was determined that the vehicle was an inoperable vehicle. We sent 2 notices out, October 31st of 2023 and November 21st of 2023. We were unable to make any communication or contact with the property owners. The alternatives before you today is the governing body, number 1, may approve the attached resolution, and number 2, the governing body may not approve the attached resolution. Staff recommends approval of the resolution, and the fiscal note is any abatement costs will be associated or attached to that property.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 3088.
That's 2023.
Dash 2023.
I'll second.
All right.
Thank you.
Somebody's going to second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item D would be, if approved, would be Resolution 3089-2023 and abate nuisance conditions at 2516 A Street.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 3089-2023.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item E, which if approved would be Resolution number 3090-2023, would abate nuisance conditions at 1110 North Campus Drive.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 3090-2023.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no old business. Item 11A, Janet Burr, Executive Director of Downtown Vision, Inc., will provide an update on the organization's recent events and projects. Janet, welcome.
Hi, welcome.
It has been a while. Good afternoon, Mayor Euler, City Commissioners, and Matt Allen. So, I didn't want you to feel left out.
Very welcome.
So today I'm here with you to highlight a few of our events since the last time I've been here, which was June. We have been busy, so time did get away from me a little bit, and share our newest venture for downtown. We have entered retail. So first, let's start with Fall Fest. This year, we partnered with CVB, Kansas Cruisers, Abate District Number 10, to do the Motorcycle Cannonball and Fall Fest. We had almost 100 vendors, 15,547 people attended Fall Fest, with 30% from outside Finney County. Our next venture was Food Truck Friday. We did that every Friday from mid-March all the way to October, and we learned a lot. But over 25,000 people attended Food Truck Friday during that time. We are happy to share that we will be bringing that back in 2024, but the setup will be a little different, and we'll announce it in January. Downtown Discovery was another new program we brought this year, and it was brought about from a parent that had young kids and said they wanted to bring their kids downtown, but they weren't sure that there was to do with their family. So we started Downtown Discovery. It's for kids 10 and under to come with a parent or guardian. This year we visited the fire department, the police department. We did some partnerships in Stevens Park. We partnered with Garden City Arts and several of our retail businesses, and 750 kids and parent or guardians attended. That event will come back next year. So we'll skip to December to the letters to Santa that we just had, and we had 342 letters written to Santa. We also did the tree lighting that same night, and it was sponsored by Commerce Bank. This year the weather cooperated, and the Garden City High School Vocal Jazz sang Christmas carols for an hour before, and Santa did attend. 3,907 people attended this, and it was up 5% from last year. This event was also sponsored. There was letters to Santa by the retailers, and Commerce Bank did the tree lighting. One of the all-time favorites for this community is the Christmas Parade. This year we debuted a new sponsor, and it was Commerce Bank. Over 70 entries, and we can all agree there was really good floats this year. The parade lasted an hour and 10 minutes, and it was noted by several people. They were amazed that the attendees, or not the attendees, but the people watching it started all the way at the American Legion and wrapped around Walnut Street. And so everyone's finding their new special place. 10,875 people attended the Christmas parade, which was up 18% from 2022. And thanks to our data, it states that this is the largest parade for Garden City in the history. So on this note, I want to, before I get into our new venture, thank the City of Garden City. These events are made possible thanks to them, and so we truly appreciate the partnership and all the staff that make these events possible. So now our new venture. We did several new ventures, but this one has raised a lot of eyes and asked a lot of questions, and so I thought you guys might want to know about it. We opened the Main Street Market Hub. And so this is a Downtown Vision venture. And the reason is we want to pick up some additional foot traffic downtown, and we needed a business incubator. And we thought we were the perfect people to kind of make that happen. We do know we have some empty buildings downtown, but we have to have a plan, and this is our plan. And so we have 33 businesses in the incubator. It is full. We have a waiting list on our website, and we currently have 5 people waiting to get in. Each of the 33 businesses that signed up are committed to a 6-month lease. We have already sponsored 4 pop-ups, and we have 2 coming in this Saturday. The pop-ups are for people that either can't get in because we're full, or that they sell a product that has a shelf life, and we do not have a food license, and so we cannot have products inside that do have a shelf life. At this point, we are averaging selling 300 items per day. The 33 businesses that are there are from 10 different communities. 17 are from Garden City, 2 from Ulysses, 4 from Holcomb, 2 from Copeland, 2 from Sublette, 2 from Ulysses, 1 from Hutchinson, 1 from Bueller, 1 from Lakin, and 1 from Plains. Based on our first Saturday and the data we have received, that first Saturday, they saw an increase in foot traffic of 7.6%. So we feel that we are starting to meet what we came after. The other thing I wanted to note, and this is, people asked how we got it started, we received a $5,000 grant as a pilot program for Network Kansas, that they hope that this will be, we will lead the way for other communities to try this to help save their downtowns. So our hope is that if you haven't, I have seen some of you at the Main Street Market. Right now, Leandro is working it, and when I'm done here, I will be working it. So we are getting our fill on retail. And so we also have a store manager, and it's Mariah Magana. And so she's there most of the time, but also Leandro and I are taking our turn at retail. And I think it helps Downtown Vision understand what our other partners, downtown businesses, are going through when the times are really good and when the times are slow. And it's helped us really think through a lot of things. So in closing, I wanted to also share that 2024 is a big year for Downtown Vision. If any of you have been with us for a while, 2004 is when Downtown Vision was started. So we will be celebrating 20 years of Garden City Downtown Vision. We are really excited that we will be introducing several new initiatives in 2024, plus we will continue the ones that all of us have grown to love. I want to thank the City of Garden City for your continued support, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janet.
Questions?
I had a chance to go to the Main Street Market Hub and do some Christmas shopping. And so it was, there were people there, it was like 2 o'clock on a weekday afternoon. And so it was, yes, it was easy to do, and I really enjoyed that. So thanks for bringing that to downtown.
And it's bringing people. When I was in line checking out, I heard the people behind me, they said that they were in Guyman and heard about it and decided to come up. So I mean, that kind of draw is pretty important to our community. So thank you.
Yes.
And the applause goes back to you too, Janet, because I know like you've had a vision and dream, and even when you were knocked down, people were asking about you, and we're glad you're back on your feet.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
You do amazing things for downtown, and we appreciate that. So.
Thank you.
Having the cheerleader makes a big difference, and I think you and Leandro and the rest of your staff have done an awesome job, and downtown looks really great this Christmas, so thank you.
Yes, and I was at an event in Hutch this weekend, and they said, we sure wish we had the lights of downtown Garden City. So several people are commenting on it. So thank you again for your support.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janet. Item C, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the 2024 state and federal legislative agendas. Danielle.
Good afternoon again. Each year, the City Commission considers legislative agendas that serve as the platform for intergovernmental relations and advocacy in both Topeka and Washington, D.C. The formally approved City of Garden City 2024 state and federal legislative agendas, in conjunction with the legislative agendas adopted by member agencies to which the City of Garden City belongs, enables individual city representatives, whether that be staff, elected officials, or our contractual governmental relations folks, to speak on behalf of the City of Garden City in a manner that is consistent with the content of the legislative agendas. The elements of the city's 2024 state and legislative agendas, state and federal legislative agendas, are very similar to the ones approved last year. However, there were a few changes made to the air transportation and taxation section of the state legislative priority statement, and a bullet point in the immigration section of the federal legislative priority statement to match the most recently adopted Southwest Kansas Coalition language regarding the frequency of mobile services. Upon adoption, copies of the approved 2024 state and federal legislative agendas will be sent to representative members of the city's state and federal delegation, as well as the city's government relations contractors. If the City Commission would choose not to adopt the city legislative agenda, individual city representatives, again, staff, elected officials, and our government relations contractors would still advocate or give testimony at the state and federal level, but it would be limited to those topics in corresponding position statements included in the legislative agendas of member entities like the League of Kansas Municipalities or the Southwest Kansas Coalition, or on an individual topic and position statement specifically presented and approved by the City Commission during one of your meetings throughout the year. So there are three alternatives before you related to this item. One would be to approve both the state and federal legislative agendas. One would be to modify either of those, or you could deny them altogether. Staff would recommend approval of those, and there is no fiscal impact. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Make a motion to approve the 2024 state and federal legislative agendas.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Very well done.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Daniel.
Item 12D, the governing body is asked to consider and approve continuing the reduced electric demand charge program for licensed daycare facilities. Mike.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Back on December 20th of 2022, the governing body approved a reduced electrical demand rate program for licensed child care facilities in Garden City that were on the church and school rate. The recorded minutes of the action taken by the governing body on that December 20th, 22 meeting did not specify if this program would be a one-year credit to the licensed child care facilities that were on the church and school demand rate, or if it would be an ongoing program, and if so, when the governing body would reevaluate its continuance. The reduction in this monthly electric charge was $1 from the total electric monthly demand charge for the number of authorized daycare positions per licensed facility. An example is at the Community Daycare Center, which is now known as Little Leaders of GCK Early Learning Center, which is charged a monthly demand rate component, is authorized by the state of Kansas to have 97 child care positions. This Community Daycare Center received a $97 credit for each month open in 2023 with the same amount of child care positions. So it's a reduction off of their demand charge. The 2023-2024 City Commission goals developed at a March 2nd, 2023 retreat included 3 goals related to the child care in Garden City. 1 was increasing availability of child care, 2, assisting the development of private child care options, and 3, engage as a stakeholder in the community child care solutions. In checking with the state of Kansas on December 7th, 2023, there have been some changes in the number of child care centers in Garden City and the number of authorized child care positions for each center. That used to be the Community Daycare Center, which is now Little Leaders of GCK Early Learning Center, has a capacity of 97 children. Turning Point Academy has 50. First United Methodist Church, 36. The YMCA has 120. Dreams Child Care Center is a new one, has 75. And the Garden Academy Early Learning Center has 94 positions. And the Kansas Children's Service League has 66. The other 2 that's listed there, the KCSL Head Start East and Head Start East 2, are not on the electrical demand rate. That's why they're not qualified to receive that reduction. So the alternatives would be is the governing body may discontinue the reduced electric demand rate program for licensed daycare centers. The governing body may continue the reduced electrical demand charge program for licensed daycare facilities until December 31st of 2024. The governing body may continue until further notice the reduced electrical demand charge program for licensed daycare facilities. And the number 4 would be the governing body may set new term dates and amounts for a reduced electrical demand charge for licensed daycare facilities. And the recommendation from the staff is number 3, the governing body continue until further notice the reduced electrical demand charge program for licensed daycare facilities. And if approved, then as far as the financial impact would be, if all of these that was listed received the reduced demand charge, that would amount to $6,456 per year. If more children are authorized, then it would go up. If less, then it would go down. And we would follow up with KDHE on a monthly basis to make sure that the list that we have is current, and then work with Service and Finance to make sure those credits go there if that's what you so approve. So Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I think this speaks to what our goals as a city commission, so I really do think this aligns up with that, so.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. Appreciate all the work that went into this for childcare and all of the community who was involved as well. I remember going into a meeting and it was pretty lively in there. So I mean, I appreciate everything that's done to this, and it does line up with the commission goals. So I appreciate that. So with that, I'd like to make the motion to approve alternate 3, the governing body to, until further notice, the reduced electrical demand, other programs for licensed daycare facilities.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
So if we add any more licensed facilities, it would just be put under this then?
Yes.
If we approve, is that
Correct.
what I'm garnering? Okay.
Any other discussion?
So the qualification, just to make sure, so you get the qualifications from KDHE, is that, okay, and that's how they qualify as a licensed daycare?
Yeah, that's how they're qualified as a licensed daycare. Then what we do is we go and we'll look to make sure that they're actually on the demand rate. If they're not on the demand rate, then they don't receive the reduction.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 12E, the governing body is asked to consider and authorize staff to enter a 5-year master software service contract with Rubicon Global LLC for $146,357. Tyler.
Hello again. So yeah, in 2022, staff obtained 3 different quotes to perform a route optimization study on the trash collection service for the solid waste department. Trash Flow was the successful bidder chosen for $6,500. However, after several months working with Trash Flow, staff determined that the information provided from Trash Flow needed to be more substantial to move on to the next study in that phase. So Rubicon Global LLC, they provided a second best proposal at that time of the 3 that were submitted in 2022. And after further research, the staff is confident that Rubicon Global LLC can provide the remaining services needed to complete this study. If approved today, this would be a 5-year contract with Rubicon Global LLC with an upfront cost of $29,888 for the Smart City app, and then to kick off the route optimization data collection process. Once the route optimization on our 10 collection trucks is complete, then the next fleet optimization phase will cost $28,917 for that service. Then after that, annual payments of $21,888 would be made for the next 3 years for a 5-year total of $146,357. The Smart City app program will be downloaded on iPads that will be in each truck. This app offers different options such as turn-by-turn information, special pickup, vehicle inspection logs. Those can be emailed directly to our fleet division to get adequate repairs made in a timely fashion. We also have pictures that can be taken from the drivers along the route, illegal dumping, and communicate better with alleys that need repaired and trees and such nature of that along the routes. Just to assist in better efficiencies and overall with the solid waste collection process. Alternative number 1 here, we have the governing body may approve the 5-year master service contract with Rubicon LLC for the $146,357. 2, the governing body may not approve the 5-year master service contract with Rubicon LLC for $146,357. Staff does recommend the governing body approve the 5-year master service contract with Rubicon LLC. And funding for this program will come from the contracted solid waste budget. $58,805 will come from the fiscal year 2023 budget that has a current balance of $108,815.42. And then $45,000 of that would come out of the 2024 approved budget. Staff will budget $45,000 for fiscal year 2025 and fiscal year 2026 to cover the remaining of the cost. with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
So if you add additional trucks on, there's no additional costs, or is it just you have to purchase additional equipment, like additional iPads, or is that something that's provided within this contract?
Yeah, so if we decide to add additional trucks throughout the year, we would just pay that at the end of the year.
So there would be an
cost.
additional
There would
cost.
be
So it's
additional
based
cost.
on your current fleet right now?
Correct.
So, and also, is this software, is it going to be able to be used with other areas that you might want to track? Or is it just specifically for our solid waste?
No, there's others. We could actually put this on like our street sweepers, snow routes, and stuff like that. So there's other options out there that we could use.
So this is kind of like a pilot program?
Yeah.
Or could be a pilot?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I move that we approve the 5-year master service contract with Rubicon Global LLC for $146,357, noting the fiscal note.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 12F, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a notice of acceptance for the infrastructure for Legacy Crossing Edition. Trent?
All right, hello again. The next couple items are infrastructure, which is progress, it's getting completed. This item here is Legacy Crossing Edition, completed their construction of their infrastructure on December 7th of this year, 2023. The infrastructure was accepted by the City of Garden City to ensure the work was done in compliance with the requirements of the city and the development agreement. Maintenance and improvements require the subdivider developer to maintain all required public improvement in the subdivision until the improvements are accepted by the governing body. The subdivider/developer is required to maintain the infrastructure for 1 year before the City of Garden City takes over the maintenance of the infrastructure. The notice of acceptance is the city to acknowledge the completion of the infrastructure. This will start the 1-year maintenance before the city takes over maintenance of that infrastructure. Alternatives before you, number 1 is to, the governing body may approve the notice of acceptance, and alternative number 2, the governing body may not approve the notice of acceptance. Staff recommends the governing body approve the notice of acceptance, and there is no fiscal obligation at this time.
And this satisfies the temporary occupancy we granted for walk-ons, right?
Correct, yes. They completed everything, so this will roll into that maintenance period, so that clause that we had on the last amendment is satisfied.
Okay, thank you. I make a motion that we approve the notices of acceptance.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 12G, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a notice of acceptance for the infrastructure for Hunter's Glen Phase 1. Trent?
Okay, so Hunter's Glen, comparable to Legacy Crossing, finished their infrastructure on December 5th. We accepted it. We have, as of December 5th, entered into their 1-year maintenance period. After such time, the city, after things are accepted after that 1-year period of time, then the city will take over that maintenance. Before you today, the alternatives are number 1, the governing body may approve the notice of acceptance, or number 2, the governing body may not approve the notice of acceptance.
I move that we approve the notice of acceptance.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Item H, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the bid from Frontline Communication in the amount of $989,004.97 for the purchase of one 2024 or newer mobile command vehicle. Corey.
Afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. The governing body is asked to consider and approve the bid from Frontline Communications in the amount of $989,004 for the purchase of one 2024 Newark Mobile Command vehicle. In November of '23, the governing body was asked to approve a request for proposals for one 2024 Newark Mobile Command vehicle. Following the City Commission meeting on Tuesday, November 21st, 2023, the bidding process for the mobile command vehicle was opened with a closing date of Monday, December 11th, 2023. 3 bids were received. one from Frontline Communications, one from LDV, and also Chef Units LLC. Bids were opened on Monday, December 11th at the Garden City Administration Building at 12:30 p.m. A working group of staff from both the Garden City Police Department and Garden City Fire Department was created to review and evaluate the bids in detail. The low bidder was Chef Units LLC. However, that bid did not meet the minimum specifications outlined in the request for proposal. As a result, the review team identified the best bid was from Frontline Communications due to their adherence to bid specifications, warranty, service, capability, and functionality of the vehicle. Finally, LDV did submit a complete bid package, but their bid wasn't received by the deadline, therefore eliminating their proposal. The working group is recommending proceeding with the bid from Frontline Communication and utilizing the prepaid discount of $78,223.03, which would bring the total cost of the vehicle to $989,004.97. The vehicle without the prepaid discount totals $1,067,228. The delivery date is set for 26 months from the date of order. All bids are shown in your attached bid tabulation sheet. Alternatives, the governing body may approve the bid from Frontline Communications in the amount of $989,004.97 using the prepaid discount for the purchase of the mobile command vehicle. Governing body may approve the bid from Chef Units LLC or LDB, or the governing body may provide alternative direction. Staff recommends the governing body approve the bid from Frontline Communications in the amount of $989,004.97 using the prepaid discount for the purchase of the mobile command vehicle. Fiscal note, the funding for the mobile command vehicle will come from the federal grant proceeds in the amount of $500,000, E911 funds in the amount of $250,000, and the general fund in the amount of $250,000. Due to the realization of the prepaid discount, the city anticipates paying for the vehicle in early 2024 to realize the prepaid savings. The city would incorporate the cost impact on the general fund in the revised 2024 budget. If payment will not be completed until delivery, funds would be budgeted in the 2024 revised budget and held over in the capital improvement reserve until such time as payment is due.
Any questions?
That's a pretty substantial prepaid discount, so that's good job on negotiations. So.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the bid from Frontline Communications in the amount of $989,004.97 using the prepaid discount for the purchase of the mobile command vehicle.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Item I, the governing body is asked to consider and approve an extraneous flow holding basin improvements work order for sanitary sewage collection improvements from professional engineering consultants for a fee of $165,000. Brett.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners, and I apologize for the tongue twister and the memo. The governing body is asked to consider and approve an extraneous flow holding basin improvement work order for the sanitary sewer collection system from professional engineering consultants. We've been providing the governing body updates throughout the late summer and fall, but as you may remember, on October 3rd, staff presented an update at the governing body pre-meeting regarding actions proposed by staff to address the storm-related issues affecting the sanitary sewer system. In addition to the development of the backup prevention program, which we're now implementing, and the investigation of sources of inflow and infiltration, the governing body directed staff to pursue the design of an extraneous flow basin to capture excess sewer flow that may occur during storm events to be stored for treatment when the storm event subsides. That basin would be located adjacent to the wastewater treatment plant. The attached task order proposal from professional engineering consultants will develop an extraneous flow holding basin design package for approval by KDHE and constructed by the city or vendor. in the future. The proposal does, I need to correct this from the memo because this all came in very close to our deadline. The proposal does include construction services such as project bidding and submittal review, but does not include inspection. The project description, anticipated schedule, and deliverables are attached to this agenda item. Alternatives, the governing body may approve the extraneous flow holding basin improvements task order as submitted by PEC for a fee of $165,000. The governing body may not approve the extraneous flow holding basin improvements as outlined in the task order. Or alternative 3, the governing body may direct staff to provide an alternate solution for consideration. Staff recommends the governing body may approve the extraneous flow holding basin improvements task order as submitted by PEC for a fee of $165,000. If approved, this project will be funded from GL Code engineering fees. I'll leave the number out, but the code number's in there for your reference. This project was not budgeted for 2023. And in addition to this $165,000 project, additional projects have been previously approved or encumbered that have not been budgeted, and wanted to share that list of those improvements. The total fund balance in the water and wastewater fund is $4,240,844.52. And the projects are listed below. One of those projects, the sanitary sewer smart cover proposal, that's projected cost and is presented in the consent agenda for governing body approval. If approved, that would impact that balance by $187,972.20. And then the remaining projects have been approved throughout the year. I would point out they're all encumbered with the exception of the Southeast Community Park irrigation, which we have purchased that equipment and it is in place. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Fred, would it make sense for the motion to clarify that the fee includes design services as well as project bidding and submittal review?
That would be acceptable.
Thank you for all your work in putting this plan together in a short amount of time. I know that I still continue to receive comments, and I'm sure others do too. And I'm so thankful that you were able to do it quickly and put a sound plan together and work with consultants. So thank you for doing that.
I'll make the motion that the governing body approve the extraneous flow holding basin improvement task order as submitted by PEC for a fee of $165,000, with also including the bid approvals and the design review.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I will say that, overall, the improvements or the things that you've done really are a minimal cost to really losses that could be experienced or losses that could happen in the future. So even though these are dollars that were not budgeted, unfortunately, it's very important. And you think about the cost of just a home here in Garden City and the damage any type of a sewer backup. But I think these problems have been something that have been there, and I really appreciate your work making a permanent solution rather than something that's a Band-Aid. So thank you for that.
Definitely. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Fred. Item J, the governing body is asked to consider and approve an appointment to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Tisha.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. The governing body is asked to consider and approve an appointment to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. The City of Garden City Commission is responsible for the appointment of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board members. The City of Garden City Parks and Recreation Advisory Board has 7 members. Advisory board members are appointed to a 3-year term that typically begins in January and ends in December. Ms. Karhoff was appointed to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board in April of 2021, and her first appointment concludes this month. Ms. Karhoff has been an active board member and is currently serving as the board chair. Ms. Karhoff has expressed interest in serving a 2nd term. The alternatives before you are the governing body may reappoint Holly Karhoff to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. for the term January 2024 through December 2026, or the governing body may deny the appointment of Holly Karhoff and provide further staff direction. The recommendation is the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board recommends the governing body reappoint Holly Karhoff to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. There is no fiscal note.
Mayor, I make the motion that we reappoint Holly Karoff to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for the term of January 2024 through December of 2026.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Tisha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item K, the governing body is asked to consider and approve an appointment to the Public Safety Advisory Board. Chief?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. We have an appointment or a reappointment to the Public Safety Advisory Board. Garden City resident Sonia Taylor, who has served on the Public Safety Advisory Board as the African-American representative since 2020, has submitted an application to be reappointed to the board with her term expiring in December of 2026. Sonia has been a valuable asset to the board, where she actively provides support and feedback from the community, builds relationships with fellow advisory members and the police and fire organizations. Your alternatives before you are approving the reappointment of Sonia Taylor for a second term expiring in December 2026, or you may not approve the reappointment and recommend that the board continue to recruit members. The Public Safety Advisory Board recommends the approval of reappointing Sonia Taylor for a second term expiring in December 2026.
Any questions?
Mayor, I make the motion we approve the reappointment of Sonia Taylor to the second term, which will expire December of 2026.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Chief.
Item L, the governing body is asked to consider and approve an appointment to the Planning Commission. Alicia.
Mayor and Commissioners, the Planning Commission is a 9-member board that consists of 4 city members, 3 county members, 1 Holcomb member, and 1 at-large member. Pastor Nathan Heck serves as a city member, and his term is set to expire December 31st of 2023 and is unable to serve a second term. This is a 3-year term that would start January 1 of 2024 and expire December 31st, 2026. The following citizens, in no particular order, have also expressed interest on serving on the Planning Commission: Tim Hannigan, Florencia Lugo, Jeff Christ. And attached are the applications for you to review. Your alternatives are the governing body may appoint one of the citizens listed above, or the governing body may leave the vacancy and solicit interest in serving on the Planning Commission. The staff would recommend appointing one of the citizens from the above listed.
I know Dr. Hannigan's usually at his office now, but he has been very involved with planning, both on the city and the county side of things. So I know he's pretty passionate about seeing things like that go. So with that, I'd motion to appoint Tim Hannigan to this position.
Is there a second? Okay, the motion has died for lack of a second. Is there another motion?
Yeah, I move that we appoint Jeff Christ to the Planning Commission.
I'll make a second on that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries.
Item M, the governing body is asked to consider and approve an appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
The Garden City Board of Zoning Appeals is a 5-member board and has 1 term expiring. Jeff Karhoff. Mr. Karhoff would like to serve a second term on the Board of Zoning Appeals. This is a 3-year term that would start January 1 of 2024 and expire December 31st of 2026. Mackenzie Phillips has also applied and expressed interest in serving on the board. Your alternative today would be the governing body may reappoint Jeff Karhoff for a second term. The governing body may appoint Mackenzie Phillips, or the governing body may leave the vacancy and solicit interest in serving on the Board of Zoning Appeals. Staff would recommend reappointing Jeff Karhoff for a second term.
I move that we reappoint Jeff Karhoff for a second term.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item N is the consent agenda, and if the commission doesn't want to take anything off and talk about those matters separately, the appropriate motion would be to approve item N1 through 7.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda in 1 through 7.
One second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up is commission reports. Commissioner Cessna.
Great pre-meeting and groundbreaking ceremony for the third fire station, as was mentioned by one of our esteemed guests that spoke, that it took 25 years to get to this point, but it's one of our last projects for the 2017 sales tax, so a number of great projects, and this one will really definitely benefit the community on the eastern side of the town. Just want to mention, too, that there is a ribbon cutting today for the skate park at 3:30, so another great venue for quality of life. Every time I drive by there, there's always kids and family members and parents using the facility, so another great venue for our community. Notice that they did sit out wreaths in our 2 cemeteries, and those are up for the holidays. It really adds ambiance to our cemeteries, and it's something that respects our veterans in our cemeteries that gave the ultimate sacrifice, especially during the holiday season. And then just wanted to mention about the red and blue ring off that took place. Just also, between the two, always a great event to see our police department and fire department collaborating on events.
Chief's up there cheering.
Yeah. Always nice to see that. But again, if you, it is the season, and if you do see people ringing bells for the Red Kettle, just please be generous this season. They do help our community in a number of ways. And that's all I have for today.
Right, Commissioner Ortiz.
Yeah, as always, I love just watching Facebook and kind of seeing all of the events happening, especially seeing the wreaths being placed on the tombstones. That's pretty amazing. So I'm always local guy, so shop local. If you go out and shop, I mean, that's always one that we just kind of like to invest in our community, and that's a big part to do that. So speaking with investing in our community, did attend the county commission yesterday. They spoke a great deal about just being there for our staff and the sheriffs and the police department there in that building. So I'm glad that Commissioner Chairman Jerry was able to speak on that and to continue to communicate, and that was his big pitch, was to communicate on that and to let everybody know that they are doing something, and getting that committee together is a step in the right direction, so appreciate their thoughts on that. As always, yeah, the groundbreaking for the fire station, 25 years, so that's a bit of a traveling distance, if you just imagine yourself back then, things were a lot cheaper, but yeah, what an amazing event. Thanks to all the people that went out and came out. It was a gorgeous day. Yeah, Chief Shelton was there to speak on that, so I'm glad he was able to be there for that. So he kind of had the vision and the drive for that, so appreciate him coming out and speaking. So thank you, Mayor, for speaking there too as well, and then also the county, so on their thoughts on that too. So yeah, with that, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Commissioner Ditt.
Yeah, so a lot of things happening, like we said, things that, what was mentioned, I was talking before this, the Luchador Door Show at Hidden Trail was very good. It's great to see that sort of entertainment being brought to the area. I was able to attend the mayor's Christmas party. That was very nice and very tasty. Was able to use the airport as a customer. Well, my daughter was a customer, but I went to the airport and it was a great experience, and it's really nice. And my girls were very excited and said that this makes it feel like we're in a big city now. So good experience all the way around on that. And then just final thing is match day. Was able to go to the whatever they call that little get together that they had. And I think we were about a little more than $900,000 raised at match day, which is amazing for our community, and it goes to a lot of nonprofits. And it's something where that's a really big part of some of those nonprofits' annual budget comes during that time. So thanks to everybody who made that possible and donated and everything. And just keep everybody in your mind. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Commissioner Unruh.
So I want to say thank you to all those who continue to have their names stand for the advisory boards. I mean, it is very vital and important work, and I know that there's lots of time that goes into that, and your attendance and your participation in those boards make all the difference in the city. So we really rely on the recommendations of those advisory boards. So I just want to say thank you in advance. Yeah, the groundbreaking was really neat. Well, driving up and seeing that many lights, and then also I love the big American flag. Commissioner Ortiz talked about 25 plus years, which, I mean, that is a long time. And I was thinking about previous commissioners who had just a love for the fire station. Melvin Dale is one that came to mind, and he talked about it all the time. I was hoping he could be here for that, but he wasn't. But I don't know if he was able to attend or not. But having former Chief Alan Sheldon and then Chief Ersich's talk at the event, along with the mayor, just really rounded out something that's been taken so long, but it's so exciting to see what's going to happen. Incredible. Oh, also the collaboration between the county. Anytime we collaborate, I think we're really successful at that, and I think I really go back to the whole thing with the city commission or the Garden City Area Chamber of Commerce, that pulling in the same direction. You know, it's not easy. I mean, but when we do, look what we can do together. Downtown Visions report was phenomenal, and there are so many things that go down there. Yeah, the Marketplace Hub is really neat. Some very unique individual gifts that you can't order online. Maybe you could, but I'm not going to. If you do shop local, I was thinking that, Commissioner Ortiz always talks about shopping local. The weekends are, I don't know, I leave that for everyone who comes from out of town because it is packed on the weekends. So I do my weekly shopping on that, and so it makes a big difference. I do want to say thank you, especially to the communications department. I know that there's been a lot of work these last several weeks. And thank you. The communications from the city are phenomenal. I really enjoy a lot of fun posts, and a lot of posts that really inform people of what's going on. I think about the weather event, which really letting us know what's going on. Commissioner Cessna talked about the skate park. Outdoor recreation in Garden City is so important. And the skate park, even though it was something that was a little bit of a stretch for us, what a unique opportunity and what a unique addition. And finally, I want to end with Dwayne West. He passed away. He was actually a former neighbor of mine, and for many years, he would talk to me up and down the alley. Who would ever know that I would get to know him in lots of ways? I was able to visit with him a lot of things. He was an incredible man. He had such a love for Garden City. I was not able to attend his funeral service, but I'll tell you, his family and his love for Garden City just was big as all outdoors. He had a big heart for us, and I just wanted to just honor his memory and say thank you for the service. There's lots of things lots of people whose shoulders that we stand on as commissioners who have done so much to make Garden City what it is today. And that's all I have.
I wanted to talk a little bit about an event that we had this past weekend called Shop with the Cop. And I wanted to recognize Matt Cole and Logan Mossberg for all of the organization that they did to help us find 20 children. We actually ended up helping 25 children. I did the receipts yesterday, and so we had 25 children on Saturday who were able to shop with a police officer from Garden City, from Holcomb, the Sheriff's Department, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was probably the best secured Walmart in all of the state. To see that many officers helping these little kids. And I saw a cute little picture on Facebook where you see this great big officer and this little kid walking down the aisle looking for toys. And so I wanted to thank Walmart as well for providing the funds, and United Way for being able to help bring it together and act. And so it was just an amazing time on Saturday, and to see the joy on the faces of those children who wouldn't have otherwise had a Christmas this year, it was pretty rewarding, especially when things like socks and coats came through as what they picked out for their Christmas. And it was pretty overwhelming, and there were some police officers who had some tears in their eyes, and I won't say who, but I don't want to give away, the demeanor. But anyway, it was a great event, and one that will be continued. This was the first time, and we'll plan to continue it every year, and so it was just great. I also wanted to thank Derek for the amazing job that you did at the diversity breakfast. It was well attended. There were a lot of really good discussions. This year's country that they focused on was Afghanistan, and so to be able to hear from the two individuals talk about their country, and I know them from out at Tyson, and interesting conversations that you can have with them. But just taking the time to learn a little bit about all of the different cultures that live here and work here, and getting to know them as people, I think makes a huge difference. We don't see them as, oh, you're from here, you're from here. We're all citizens of Garden City. And I think that that's something that when you have an opportunity to attend the diversity breakfast, it really hits home. Just how many different cultures we have and how remarkable it is to live in Garden City. The groundbreaking was very nice this morning. I think, I agree with everything that the commissioners said. And I really enjoyed afterwards just watching all of the different groups go up there to take their pictures, seeing EMS, seeing, the county, seeing the city and the fire department. And it was just kind of a reminder of, these are all the partners working together to make this happen. And especially something that took 25 years to make happen. And so thanks to the citizens of Garden City for voting in 2017 to pass that sales tax initiative to be able to do this project. And I'm also looking forward to the ribbon cutting this afternoon at the skate park. It certainly is another great work in progress, and to be able to celebrate that. So with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
We can wear our hard hats when we're doing the skateboarding.
I know.